One of the best things to happen to lighting in the last 20 years has been Sidus Link. What Aputure has put together here, this system that allows you to use all of your lights remotely just with your phone and the lights themselves, is fantastic. Using Bluetooth mesh technology to make sure that each light is actually an extension of your wireless network, it just makes things make so much sense. And it's so good for us indie creators who are not at the point where we can spend all of the money on, wireless DMX and controlling things that way. It would be great if we all could use those systems and have those lights, but the other side of it is just that most of the lights you get from Aputure have higher output per dollar, which works best for indie creators anyway. So if the system itself is built into that, it's just a win-win. Now, I'm someone that got into Aputure's lights right around the time that the 120D Mark II came out. And this ended up being the last of what Aputure, I think, now refers to as their legacy fixtures. Every fixture from the 300D Mark II, if I remember correctly, onwards, has Sidus Link built in. But these guys do not. So given that these were my workhorse lights for the better part of a year, and I still want to use them and they still have their uses, I really wanted to be able to use these with Sidus Link. And so when Aputure announced the Sidus Link bridge, I pre-ordered that sucker as soon as I could and got it shipped in. This is the Aputure Sidus Link. So it comes in this box that appears to be pretty recycled packaging, which is awesome. In here you're going to get your user guides and all your instructions and whatnot. And here you have your antennas, and you don't get any extra ones, so please don't break these. You only get the 2. And then you also have a USB Type-C charging cable. Now, this is neat because, one, Type-C, hooray, does have a Type-A on the other end, but it's a braided cable, so it's a very sturdy cable that you'll be able to use for quite a while. And then on the bottom, you've got your actual unit itself. And boy, what an absolute unit. So, made of metal, rock solid, pretty neat little thing. There's not that much to talk about with it, if I'm honest. It basically takes your Bluetooth signal and converts that to a 2.4 gigahertz signal like the remote uses that comes with these lights, and translates it and transmits it so that you can connect your phone to this and everything talks to each other and you can control it remotely. For instance, right here, you can see I've got this right here, and I just have to tap that and turn it on, and there you go. So now I've got control over that light, all from my phone. If I understand correctly, this also enables effects on some lights that didn't have it previously and some other things like that. So it's a very nifty piece of kit. It's, I think, $89, so not that bad of an investment to get your system to be all-encompassing, every light that you've had, even with Aputure's older fixtures. Now don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with how to set this thing up. It's just like all the other Aputure fixtures. Do the Bluetooth reset, which on this is just hitting the button 5 times, and then you connect it through Sidus Link. And then you get this interesting little interface here. So you have channels 1, 2, and 3, and then your different groups, just like you do on the remote that comes with all of these lights. The only legacy fixtures that I have from Aputure are the 120D Mark IIs. So I bought this specifically for these. And for the most part, it's great. I mean, you can see right there, that just turned on, and now I can bring that up, and I've got all that power coming out of it. But right now, if you look at the recording of my phone and the control box, you can see that there's actually a discrepancy here. So what I discovered is that when I take the slider all the way up to 100 on the app, I only get 90% out of the control box on the 120D Mark II. Now, when I discovered this, I was a little bit disappointed. I thought, oh, well, is it broken? Like, did I get a bugged unit, or is the software not updated, or what's going on here? So I emailed Aputure and I asked them about this, and they said, okay, well, hold on, let us take a look at it. And then later they got back to me and said, actually, that's just how it's supposed to be. So this is exactly the email that they sent to me. Dear Garrett, thank you. I did a test with the same devices yesterday and found the same problem you were experiencing. After checking with our product manager, I was told that this is not a malfunction. The brightness control protocol of the 120D2 is a little different from other older Aputure products. It's accurate to 1/1000th. That's why such an issue only happens with the LSC 120D2 Lite. You can tap the plus or minus button to get to the target value. I'm so sorry for the confusion. So once again, we take this all the way up to 100% on the slider, and we're at 90% on the control box. And what you have to do in order to get to 100% is tap the plus button. And you'll see that it actually jumps up to 110% in the app. So it's programmed in there. They knew this was a thing. It's just how it works with this one light that just happens to be weird compared to everything else. And look, it's not a big problem. It's really not a big issue. It's just something that I think you need to be aware of, and especially because most of the people that I've talked to, these are the lights that they have that they're interested in for this. Some people have the LS1 panels and stuff like that, but most people are looking at this for the 120D Mark IIs to add to their Sidus Link kit that has the 300Ds and the 600D and whatever. I don't know. It's just weird more than anything else, because if I go down to 10% on the slider here, we'll be at 0% on the control box, and then bang, back up to 100. Nope, it's 90. Tap, 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 tap. So you just can't do a full slide from 0 to 100%. And if you probably don't want to be doing that anyway, because it is kind of steppy as you go down. You can see, like, if you're doing a slow one, you get a pretty steppy progression there. What I would love to see is for them to update the app and make it so that in Sidus Link's control center here on the app, you actually can take this slider all the way up to 110% with your finger and just slide it on up there. They clearly know it's there. They know it's a thing that this light interprets differently and all that jazz. So they could very easily update this to add that extra 10% to the slider. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that would mess up stuff with some other fixtures. I don't know. But I would love to see that just for myself, because this is the only light that I need this for. I'm probably not going to buy any of those other older Aputure lights. So if I could just get this running where it's just easy, slide up to 100%, bang, that would be fantastic. It's a small thing, but something to think about. But yeah, other than that, this does exactly what it says on the box. It allows you to use legacy Aputure fixtures with the Sidus Link app and have everything grouped together and trigger things, and it's just fantastic. So for $89, I gotta say, I expected this to be more expensive. I was expecting about $150 for these little things, and I expected to have to put a different one on each light. So coming in at $89 and allowing me to use these older fixtures, it's just a good deal. So yeah, if you're looking to use these with Sidus Link, go ahead and get yourself one. I wouldn't say don't get it, even though it does have that one weird little quirk with the 120Ds. But good job, Aputure. Keep it up. Hoping to see how many of your lights I can pack in my kit. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you like what you see, or you just got some information that was helpful, we appreciate a subscribe, a like, notification bell, all that jazz. Click away, man. Go nuts.